Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's a special day because ArtSnacks is here. I'm excited to see what's inside. So let's go ahead, open her up and see what's inside. Oh, I'm so excited. Open, 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 open. All right. I smell pencil. I smell pencils. We'll tuck that right about there. Okay, we're ready for the big reveal. This is the Golden Open Slow Drying Acrylics. It allows you to do plein air painting with acrylics as opposed to oil. So you can treat these a lot like oils. I actually have a few sets of these in this size. And actually, phthalo blue green shade is an excellent color for me to get. Of course, if we're going to be having a tube of paint, it's great to have a paintbrush. This is a KINGART brush. It's a size 6 Filbert. Ooh, okay. Okay. The Derwent Inktense. I got Shiraz. It looks like a red. And then, ooh, I know that. Ooh. Yep, Kuretake. Knew it. And we got, oh, it's one of the plastic style nibs from the look of it. I actually really like these. So we have the sticker for this month, which is pretty darn cute. I'm loving it. So all in all, a very interesting, that's an interesting combination we got here. And I'm actually really excited to see how these two play together. And then we've got that for sketching and lining and brush. All right, so all in all, interesting box. Okay, so we got a board. One of these, I have a bunch of these, just so I have somewhere to put the paint. Ooh, nothing like a fresh tube of paint. I'm curious to see how this is gonna feel on a canvas. So we'll, oh, that's not bad. It's really dark. Now I'm curious. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, okay, it is really dark. It's like a crimson mulberry. Oh, wow, that really does well. Ooh. Ooh. I like. I like that a lot. So we're definitely going to be a little on the intense. I'm so clever. Yeah, that's Faber blue green shade. I'm curious about how I would go about mixing the two, to be honest. I like the brush. The brush is really nice. Does everyone else stick their paintbrush tip in their mouth when they need to use their hand and don't want to put it down? I do, all the time. Probably shouldn't. So I guess if you were to like say you wanted to do, let's say we wanted to do half a heart. I guess that's how you would do it. You'd shade with that color. Or something like that. What's that? I heard you like really complicated swatching. Me too. Huh. It's definitely a very dull kind of purple. It definitely shades better into the Inktense than it does, I think, into the paint. Now, because this is a pencil, I don't think it's gonna Yeah, you can't really pick up much off of that. I can do dip it in the water. Does that work? Oh, okay. And then doesn't really feel too much different. Okay, so it doesn't really change how this feels. You could do a wash with this one too, because you can get it really thin. I'm trying to think what these colors scream to me about, and I'm not getting too much if I'm being wholly honest, which I mean really, I feel like only once in a while when I open up one of these boxes do I instantly go, yep, that's it. That's what I'm making. That right there. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a genius. I will think over these colors and see what I can come up with, and we'll get back to it and make something beautiful. And I got my coffee today because I absolutely need it. I say that like I don't drink coffee every day. I'm gonna kind of keep this part here in the middle. So that's a little more like that. There's like a line here. Because this one comes up about here. I know I don't have to go crazy on the proportions, but I still want to kind of get it close. Alright, that will be where the hair and mane stop, and the rest over here is going to be the galaxy. I don't have to really worry about having it shaded properly because this is all just going to get covered up with ink and paint, but I still want to get the right area and the kind of shape so I know what I'm doing. That way I kind of know what direction everything's going in. The face is probably a little too narrow, but I think that will should fill out a little bit with the paint and everything. That helped. Okay. Yeah, that helped a little bit. Okay. Let's get some of this graphite up. You ever just have anxiety about a piece of art that you're working on? You get to a certain point and then you're afraid you're going to ruin it by going any further, but it's not done. It's nowhere near done. So you just put it off and sometimes don't even come back to it, which is basically worse than just going through and fucking it up. That's me right now. We're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna do it. We're just gonna get in there and go with the color. All right. Let's just get in there and exciting! I'm trying to find the darkest parts where I would want the most of this maroon color to be. I don't feel 100%. I'll probably only be able to work on this for a little bit at this time. Because I work on all my pieces in little breaks and stuff, just because I'll need to take care of my kid, cook dinner, go somewhere, clean, chores, you name it. But yeah, if you ever noticed that the lighting changes and it looks like it's a different day or a different time of day, you're right, it totally is. If you'd ever like tips on how to manage time or how to art with not a lot of time, I would be more than happy to do a video on that, or a blog post on like Patreon or something, because I have a lot of tips. I've had to adapt to this weird lifestyle of parenting, and you don't have to be precise with this, because as we saw in the swatches, I actually have the swatch board up here. I'm actually looking at it while I work. It doesn't leave any pencil lines, so it's not like a watercolor pencil, or maybe it is, but it's not in a traditional sense, especially on this canvas board, that it really doesn't leave the lines. So basically what you're doing, Allie, if you're doing something similar, like an animal or something without any harsh lines, you just kind of want to get the color where it's the deepest. So like the ear here is a very, very deep orangey brown in the reference pick. This right here is actually black, but that's what we have. So we have this for. So this is some of the darker tones here. There's a shadow cast underneath the jaw and cheek thing here, so that's going to be the darkest. There's a little bit in the mane where it's the darker areas here. There's some shadows and darker parts here along the face. It's whiter around here, like right in here. It's white. The color doesn't start until like right about here. So you just want to add a little bit, so that way when you add the water to get it going, it you can kind of flow out from the darker areas to the lighter areas, or vice versa, depending on the look you're going for. Since the lion is mostly done in this burgundy maroon color, I can re-wet and lift and move it around until I'm happy with it, then go in after and add the acrylic paint, because once the acrylic paint's dry, it's dry. Its only gimmick is that it takes longer to dry. What inspired me for this is actually kind of funny. In one of my Google searches came up a wolf, and it had a galaxy background. I liked the idea of the wolf, and it had like almost like a fire and ice type effect to it, so it was more red than maroon. But I liked the idea of it, because it was just the head and then like a little bit of the neck, and it blended into the galaxy. And it had like stars and sparkles and all sorts of cool things. It was actually really pretty. Well, clicking on that in the Google search showed me a lot more like it, and a lot of other artists have done something similar. And I was like, oh, okay, they're on to something. So I thought, what if I did an animal that was kind of special to me? Something still has the same effect as like a wolf, and that kind of like powerful, wild kind of feeling. And I thought about a lion. So I was like, well, okay, we'll do a Leo then. Lion, Leo. And then I was like, well, there's a constellation for Leo. So it seemed to make sense to me of why I would put a lion fading into stars. Those are like a reference to the constellation. And I was like, well, that sounds like a good enough idea for me. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But for me personally, I don't normally do strange colors. I tend to take things very literal. I just, that's how my brain normally works. These sorts of things, and in a very literal sense. So this is a nice personal challenge for myself to try and break out of that norm and get out of that comfort zone for a little bit. And what better time to do it than with an ArtSnacks box. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wet this since I know I can come back and rework it a little bit. Let's start here. Oh boy. Okay. There's no going back now. And we're gonna come back in this area and do black anyway. This is mostly just to kind of make the black not as a stark contrast. I'm definitely noticing I'm having to be careful with my water control. I like rewettable mediums in certain instances. This is one of them. Okay, yeah, I'm actually starting to like this. It's in its rough stage, which if you work with wet medium, I find it happens a lot more with wet medium than any other media I personally work with. Art goes through that awkward stage, like in the middle, where you're just like, wow, this is awful, and I hate it, and I never want to do art again. Also, I'm pretty sure you can hear it in the background. I've tried to adjust my microphone so that it doesn't pick it up as much as possible, but there is a limit onto what it can do. I have to have a fan going, and I know I should turn it off, and it would be almost borderline rude to leave it on, but I'm in Texas, and it is exceedingly hot in Texas. We are 100 usually-ish degrees. I think we're a little less today. I think we're 98. Ooh. But yeah, the room I'm in gets exceedingly hot, like uncomfortably hot, that I can't turn off the fan or else I legitimately risk getting like a heat stroke. And I love art, I love you guys, but I'm not giving myself heat stroke. I did that once before. It looks a little better with some color on the eyes. Just to kind of not rely too much on the black pen, I'm gonna go ahead and go in here with some of the blue. And give it some depth, so that way when I go in with the black pen and a little bit of water, it's not as a stark black that it's almost off-putting. It's just, it feels a little bit more organic. I think I want to do a little bit of red here, a little bit of red here, and I think we'll do maybe a little bit here, but not much. And I think that's how I want to do that. Figure this out. I want black up in here with a little bit of purple, so I think if we're going to do purple, we need to get a light coat of the red. this area over here is going to be purple as well. So I need to get some red down in there. Just one of those days. Screams incoming. Wait for it. No? Shocking. It's a rarity that she doesn't scream when anybody leaves the door. I'll take it. Motherfucker, I spoke too soon. That's not bad. I definitely got something here. There we go. A little bit more of that reddish tone. There we go. I think something that'll definitely help with this later is I plan to use a white gel pen. One of the things I allow myself to cheat with frequently. To add a little bit of stars and stuff. So anyway, I'm just really going through this a little bit at a time. Kind of trying to figure out how I want things to be. And then we can always come back in and touch up on layer 2, since this is still layer 1. And I like working on layers when possible. So that I can be like, it's okay that, like, you know, this lion doesn't quite look 100% right now. It's because it's layer 1, and it allows my brain to kind of like chill out and not expect perfection. I just be able to tell myself it's layer 1. Ooh. Ooh. That's looking pretty good over there. Okay. So I think what we'll do is use a little bit of this. Just a little. Okay. Get a little bit of that, and then we'll fade this out, I think, is how we're going to handle this. And here we'll get nice and washed out. I'm gonna use a little bit more in the palette here. Ooh, I just realized we're not gonna be able to sharpen that until it dries. Oopsie. I didn't think that through 100%. It's actually got a pretty decent dispersal. Yeah, we'll leave it nice and kind of burgundy, I think. Give us a little bit of contrast here. Ooh, I'm actually going to put more blue in the palette. I've been really careful with only putting a little bit because I don't want to waste too much of it. I think I gotta... Yeah, I know what I gotta do. I'm running into an issue already with my style, and it's like I'm making my edges too smooth. And that's just me being me. That poor pencil. That poor Inktense pencil has been through the ringer. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have made this as big as I did, but oopsie. Said there's apparently no going back when you do that. Let's go ahead and get the color on this last little bit here, and I think what we'll do is a little bit of black. To help it out in the center. Alright, let's pick up a little bit of the purple on the brush and have at it. You can't even see what I'm doing. Ha ha ha. Of course, this last little bit's gonna look like super wonky and not do what I want it to do. think the difficult is trying to blend it into the light blue without losing too much of the light blue itself. I want to try and keep it as light as possible, but it's a challenge, I'll give it that. So there's just something not quite right about the shape of the blue that I'm not liking, and I think I need to bring some of the red here. I'm gonna make a purple again. It's like I'm trying to keep it blended into the main, so we'll have to go back over through that again. I want to avoid messing with this area here because I actually kind of like that little bit of white peeking through. I actually really like that I can try to dry brush. It's kind of set for a minute, and it adds like a glow effect to it. Try to give a little bit more definition because we're looking a little flat here. You know, I think down here I might actually leave the texture of the pencil a little bit because it kind of works with what's going on down here. Let's try up in here and see. A little bit something there, I think. Kind of want to keep the transition in certain parts a little subtler, and I think that's helping. Oh, that's bluer than I thought it was going to be. Ah, no! I like the blend over here. It looks really good, and I like this little dark blue piece that kind of goes up into it. And we'll just kind of blend it out here. I want it to feel like the red is coming down out of the main and into the galaxy background. I'm trying to get that rough look away from my usual softness. Because I've been so mean to this brush. It's holding up pretty good. All the like roughing like this I've been doing, it's holding up exceedingly well. KINGART did a good job on this one. I'm mostly excited because despite everything, I've seen it through to the end here. And even though it's not exactly what I originally envisioned, keeping with it and finishing it regardless, it's an accomplishment. I'm proud of myself for that. I kind of got like a yin-yang effect here. I didn't intend to do. Looking at the camera, kind of like it. Okay, it's as Bob Ross would say, a happy accident, and I'm okay with that. All right, here's the part that always stresses me out. I suppose I can be a little bit more forgiving here, since it's on a canvas board and it doesn't have to be perfect. But still, line art of any kind gets me because I don't have the straightest of hands. Oh boy, okay, let's touch up the nose a little bit. The whisker line, I'll just do it in pencil so it's a little more subtler. Oh, I didn't realize I could use this for some light detail. Cool. There you go, guys. You can use pencil on top of everything. Kind of get a little bit of shading. Ooh, this is fun. Kind of gives it like a light little sketchy look, and I am absolutely here for it. I love sketchy look. Ooh. That kind of helps that be a little bit of a smoother transition. Cool. You can never really underestimate the basic pencil. It can do so many things that you'd never expect. Let's do a little test over here. You could also do this with a paint splatter. If you have something like a gouache. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a few, just to kind of help the mind blend it around the mane. Try to cluster some together, make it a little bit more interesting that way. It'll hammer down that kind of yin yang get going. Alright, I'm actually really happy. I keep looking up at the camera. I'm actually really pleased with how kind of just it blends. This whole area turned out really cool with that kind of yin-yang look. This little area here with the red on the bottom of this mixture over here. It blends really nice into the mane. The stars covering the mane and in the ear a little bit there really help kind of bring it all together. And there you have it. Weeks worth of work. Something a little bit crazy and outside the box, and I absolutely love it. I feel really good right now, guys. You have no idea. If you liked this video and you like the painting, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see more ArtSnacks unboxing and other art-related videos as well. And go ahead and leave a comment down below with what you made with your ArtSnacks box. What colors you got, what did you make? Go ahead and tag me on Instagram. You can find my Instagram in the description box down below. I love seeing what everyone else does. Well, I guess that's it, guys. Take care, and I will catch you in the next one.